And we continue to cover breaking news tonight. President Trump announcing another round of pardons and sentence commutations for dozens of people. Good evening. I'm Marnie Hughes.
And I'm Rob Nelson. Joe Donlan is off tonight. The president pardoned his former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, his longtime associate, Roger Stone, and also Jared Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, among others.
Presidential pardons are common at the end of a four-year term, and President Trump has issued fewer than most of his predecessors. Stone and Manafort are now the third and fourth men, however, to receive a pardon after being indicted as a result of former special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Earlier tonight, we spoke with a presidential historian, Dr. Barbara Perry, about the presidential pardons and where the president stands compared to his predecessors.
The through line is pretty clear on this and typically pretty different from most presidents. That is that these are all people, mostly people who either have worked for the president, who've engaged in clearly criminal activities, some of whom are self-confessed criminals in the case of Jared Kushner's father. And there are people who have spokespersons who have the president's ear. So these are loyalists or friends of loyalists to the president. And sometimes this has happened in history, but typically not as much for past presidents.
NewsNation anchor Rudabeh Shabazi is live with the latest tonight on this new round of pardons. Rudabeh.
Marnie, over the past 48 hours, the president granted clemency to 49 people, either through pardons or sentence commutations. An Associated Press reporter notes the president is also pardoning people convicted of so-called white-collar crimes. He also echoed the same sentiment that many people connected to the Russia investigation are being granted clemency.
What is interesting about the latest batch of pardons from President Trump is that many of them have centered on people with whom he has a personal or political connection or bond. And so, for instance, we saw two defendants in the Russia investigation being pardoned. We saw two former congressmen who were big, known early political supporters of his being pardoned. So it really represents an ongoing effort by the president to basically unravel the results of the Mueller investigation.
Congressman Adam Schiff, who headed the impeachment proceedings in the House, responded to the news in a tweet saying, quote, President Trump's pardon now completes the corrupt scheme, lawless until the bitter end. On the other side, Republican Senator Ben Sasse released a statement saying, quote, this is rotten to the core. Paul Manafort's pardon means he won't serve his full 7.5-year sentence. A judge convicted Manafort of 16 felony counts in March of last year. The initial charges stemmed from the Russia probe and later led to tax evasion and bank fraud investigations. He sent out a tweet thanking the president just moments after the pardon was announced. Roger Stone's conviction came in November of last year. He lied under oath to lawmakers who were investigating possible Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. The president commuted his 3-year sentence over the summer. And the final high-profile pardon on today's list is for Charles Kushner, the father of President Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner. Judge dealt the elder Kushner a 2-year prison sentence in 2004 after he pleaded guilty to tax evasion, witness tampering, and unlawful campaign donations. The witness Kushner was accused of retaliating against was his own brother-in-law, who was cooperating with federal officials in a campaign finance investigation against him. Kushner was accused of videotaping his brother-in-law with a prostitute he hired and then sending the video to his sister. President Trump has pardoned at least 85 people during his time in office. He's commuted the sentence of 24 others. Former President Obama pardoned 212 people between 2009 and 2017, and he also commuted the sentences of more than 1,700 people. That's a record. Hundreds of those were for drug offenders. George W. Bush issued 189 pardons and 11 commutations. The president, of course, also has the power to deny requests for pardons. According to the Justice Department, President Trump has done that 82 times since he first took office. Rob?